Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Mocklin Music Channel with your favorite new artist, once again, practicing talking to the camera. So, today's video is going to be a little bit special as it's going to be my first time where I'm going to have a video going over one of my songs. Today is going to be the first song I ever made called Dream Again. Clouds and sing out, I can dream again. And the reason why I thought this would be a cool thing to do is because I actually noticed that's been about a year since I made this at the very beginning. So yeah, let's get to it. All right, so it's been a while since I last looked at this song, and so right here you can see that I have my folder open, and when you look at the folder, I have it sort of separated into like song and vocal projects because originally I was working with the Ableton Lite version, and in the Lite version they only give you a total of 8 tracks. In order to do 8 tracks with MIDI instruments and then vocals on top, the way that I worked around it was I did one file, which is the draft folder, where I had all of my instruments, and then I had another one, which was for my vocals. So this is actually the oldest version I can find on my computer at this very moment, where you can see right here. And I'll go ahead and play it so you can hear sort of what it sounds like. Yeah, so as you can see, one of the things that might stand out to you is that I have the piano playing the vocal melody. That's generally what I always do when I first lay down the instrumental, and then I remove the piano or keep it in, depending on how I feel like the song would sound better at. So as you can see over here, in this original version, I had a total of 8 different tracks. The first 2 are just both from this, what's called the selector kit, which is the MIDI package in Ableton Lite for drum sounds. I actually have it active right now, so you can sort of take a little bit of a listen of what it sounds like. And yeah, so actually, like originally when I was making this, when I was doing the 16th note hi-hat, like over here, playing it all together, it wouldn't actually register and play out the sounds for like the snare and the kick, so that's why I had them separate. So this bottom one is going to be the 16 note hi-hats, and the top are the snare and the kick, like so. Yeah, and then I have one track down here. I believe this is the vocal melody. And then another piano track over here, which I ended up cutting in the very final version, which was supposed to have like some sort of chorus in the background, like, ah, you know? But this is what it sounds like. Like, all together with the other song, it would be like. So as you can imagine, it sounded like pretty messy, as I didn't really know what I was doing since it was my very first song. And that's why I ultimately cut it out, because it sounded messy, as you can tell. And yeah, and part of it might also be because back then I didn't really know what quantization was. Like, for example, when I click on this track, you can see here on the bottom that the notes are not fully snapped to the grid. So some of the instrumentals were not like tight knit at this first stage. But anyways, moving on. This track next is the bass, which I just use a standard rock electric bass. And I wanted it to have a 16th note, as you can tell from down here. And to take a little step back, back then, in order to do the 16th notes configuration, I actually have an arpeggiator on my MIDI controller keyboard, which if I switch it on, then lets me play whatever notes at 16th notes. So it'll be easiest to just like pull up the drum set to tell you what I'm talking about. So let's see. Oops. I accidentally muted that. I need to play this. Okay. Right. So yeah, that's how I did all the 16th notes. Pretty straightforward, right? And yeah, in terms of the bass, that's how it is throughout the entire song. And then the one right underneath it is the guitar part, which is this. Yeah, I thought this sounded pretty cool, which is why I chose that guitar sound in general. And then the one right underneath it is like an electronic sound that I wanted to just like spice up the song, you know. I also just thought that the sound quality fit the vibe of the track as I imagined it pretty well. So yeah, take a listen. There's a little electronic part, which also has this part. So you can see down here, I actually like played it all completely manually, which is why it's not really locked to the grid. And then of course, at the very end, at the bottom, I don't believe I actually use this all too much, but it's just a bottle blower to give like smaller transitions. So this is what it sounds like. Let's see. So the entire context of the song is how I used it. Yep. So anyways, that's the raw tracks that I was originally working with. And then eventually I recorded vocals, and we all know about the shenanigans where I accidentally sing to the back of the microphone, right? I wouldn't remember it myself. But anyways, I went back and I definitely did adjust this quite a few more times in order to just polish it up. But I wanted to keep the original integrity where I was just working with only 8 tracks together. So an updated version of this, I believe, is Dream Again Instrumental version 3. If you can see here, it was actually last modified like a year ago in December 18th. But yeah, so let's open it up. Oops. Alrighty. No, do not save changes. Alright. We'll be cutting this part out while I wait for it to load. Alrighty, so here is Dream Again Instrumental version 3. So you can see here, I basically tidied up a lot of the tracks. I merged them together, and I also did a few different layerings, as you can see, which is why I end up with 9 different tracks here now. The main thing to notice is that, I believe, is this it? What's this? Actually, I haven't seen this in a really long time. Oh, yes. I remember now. So originally, when I was making the track, the verses sounded very empty. And as such, I sort of had included this pad-like sound in order to beef it up a little bit. So this is what it sounds like. That was not originally in there, and then I removed the piano melody because I know that I wasn't going to sing it over. I know that I wasn't going to sing over it, I mean. So yeah, other than that, you can still see we have the drum kits up here. We got the piano, which is just the low ends of the piano chords. Then we have the bass down here, the guitar part, as before. And even though this is Guitar Palm Legacy, the actual sound is over here, which is still the same as before. And then here's the bottle blower. So yeah, even though I was like polishing up a bit, it's still not like fully polished as to like what I would do nowadays. But yeah, I'll play it for a few more seconds so you guys can hear what the backing track sounds like before I sing over it. Alrighty. Now let's go ahead and open up the vocal project. Over here. Vocal 2 is probably the latest version. So, as I was explaining before, what I did originally was I exported out the instrumental into one track on this top over here. So I would have 7 tracks remaining to just record my vocals, and that's when I was still singing in the living room, singing to the back of the microphone. What I actually think no, actually scratch that. Initially, I was actually singing into this microphone, a USB mic, in the living room. Then I sang to the back of a microphone. Then I got a full version of Ableton where I finally got to record vocals properly. As you can see here, I have a lot more tracks going on. But yeah, let's go ahead and listen to it.
Waiting for the future comes now. I can live again. Awaken to the sunlight finding.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like pretty standard. What I did over here is I separated out different verses and choruses, and also had different takes to go over all the vocals. Something that's actually pretty interesting that I decided to keep is the backing vocals at this very end. If I remember correctly, this was when I was still singing to the back of the microphone, actually. I liked the overall like murkiness to the sound quality of it, so I kept it. But yeah, take a listen over here. Yeah, like at the end over there, I wanted the song to have sort of like a sad-ish feel to it. So that actually ended up working in my favor. Well, in my opinion. But yeah, as far as the song goes, this song was inspired by a song I wrote together with some bandmates back in high school. And I mean, I didn't remember exactly what all the lyrics and stuff were, but essentially, as my first song, I wanted to be about dreaming about making music again, you know? So that's why it's called Dream Again. And yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this little video up with some of the chorus. Just kidding, that was the verse. Let's go! There's some old vocals here. Yeah, I thought it gave like a pretty cool chorus sound, but I mean, of course, it's not as polished as I would like it to be for my current standards. But yeah, you know, at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to finish up and wrap up your project and move on to the next one. You can always revisit this, and I'm pretty sure at some point I might consider revisiting the song as well. But yeah, that's Dream Again. Alright, so that about wraps up this video. As you can see, I don't have my glasses because I don't need my glasses for this part of the video. So anyways, that pretty much is all about Dream Again. I hope you found it interesting. I know it definitely was a trip down memory lane for myself, as I haven't worked on it for like the project itself for about a year now. And yeah, if you enjoy the video, like and subscribe, and of course let me know if there's anything else that you would like to see from this channel. And of course, check out my music and Dream Again if you haven't already. So yeah, till next time, Mucklin signing off. Let me know. Yeah, actually, let's try it again.